Hello everyone, my name is Valdrin and I'm the senior analyst for BeInCrypto. So as always with me we have Konstantin, who is our global trader. Hey Konstantin, and today we're going to talk about financial market indices. So unlike our usual discussions, it's still going to be related to crypto afterwards, but it's mostly going to be looking at the chart of the S&P 500, of the Dow Jones, and of the DAX index, maybe even Nasdaq afterwards. But we're just going to discuss on what's happening with them and how that can potentially fall into crypto, whether that's in a positive or negative manner. So yeah, I will pass it to Konstantin, who will start with the first charts.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to that because it's kind of weird what's happening with the markets right now. So let me I haven't give my computer permissions to share my screen. All right, so actually I have to quit and reopen. That's sorry for the bad preparation, but it seems that I have to do that. Otherwise, I cannot share my screen. So I will be back in like one second.
No worries. So let's see if I can share my screen. Sorry. Oh, no, Konstantin's here. I'll add Konstantin and all mine. Yes, we're good now.
So sorry, guys, once again. It caught me off guard because wasn't expecting that. But anyway, I will share my screen now. And actually, TradingView has a big promotion right now because we had this Black Friday and now it's Cyber Monday, and they are off like 60%. And I just found out or realized that like a couple of days ago that they have a desktop application, so you don't actually need to open your browser to use TradingView. You can download an application, and I totally love it because it's much faster. It's much cleaner. You don't basically use your browser, which is really awesome in my opinion. So I'm gonna start with the German DAX index. And what you can see is that it's really weird what's happening here. Let me switch to this chart here. So basically what happened is that we bounced off. So actually, no, we broke the 50-month EMA, which is different to the other coins that we, the other indexes that we later discuss. But basically, what they all have in common right now is that they are basically at the golden ratio resistance. And basically, once this resistance is broken, I'm leaning fully bullish again on the DAX index. But for now, this could be just a relief rally. But if you think about it, we just surged around 23%. And we are the same price region as we've been in March and May. So this is kind of crazy that we are basically expecting a global recession and the big index is still trending up like crazy. If we break that golden ratio resistance right here, I have no doubt that we go to the previous all-time high. So we have like almost 10% potential here after we break that golden ratio resistance. And also the monthly histogram of the MACD is ticking bullishly higher since October. And it will definitely close bullishly higher this month because there's only like 2 days until it closes. So yeah, to be honest, the DAX looks kind of bullish in the monthly chart. If we check the weekly chart, it looks like there is some bearish rejection for now at the golden ratio resistance. But the EMAs are still bullishly crossed. There was no death cross. MACD lines are also bullishly crossed. The weekly histogram is ticking bearishly lower, so this might be an indication for the correction wave here. If we correct now, we could basically go to the Fibonacci support at around 13,550, something like that. If that breaks, we have major support at 12,900. So as long as we bounce from one of those support zones, we are basically still bullish, and we could expect a break of that golden ratio resistance. So we have that scenario, where we just try that resistance once again. So yeah, DAX looks kind of bullish. We can still look at the lower time frames, and in the lower time frames, it becomes more apparent that we might face a short-term correction. We have this bearish divergence in the daily RSI, and then also the daily MACD lines are about to cross bearishly. So this is bearish, and then also the histogram is ticking bearishly lower since basically for 2 weeks now. So short-term wise, it looks like there could be a correction coming for now. But then also in the daily, the EMAs are about to cross bullishly and establish a golden crossover, which would confirm the trend bullishly in the short to midterm. So I don't know. This is how it looks like to me right now. So short-term correction, but once we bounce off those supports, I lean towards a break of the golden ratio. And if we break the golden ratio, the DAX looks completely bullish. So now my question to you, Valdrin, should I just continue with the other indices, or do we do one by one basically?
Honestly, I know. We're doing 3, right? We have
Yes.
the Dow Jones, and maybe I'll do them one, then you do the third, just so I know. I guess it's split evenly. So I'll do Dow Jones, and then you'll do S&P, and maybe I can do them like Nasdaq or just the dollar index. I also wanted to see that a little. Okay,
Yeah,
so
for
we
sure.
have the awesome. So it's fine now. Yeah, so we have the Dow Jones, which honestly it looks amazing. I mean, it's kind of disheartening to look at this when like you're a crypto trader because I mean the Dow Jones is basically 8% below its all-time high. So that would mean Bitcoin being at like 55K. But yeah, honestly, it's weird how strong they've been because okay, so basically we had this like massive bull run since the March lows. If you remember these March lows, they were the coronavirus crash. And honestly, it didn't even drop that much. Like it basically fell between the 0.3 and 0.5 level, and then it bounced sharply. That was also horizontal resistance support area here, sorry. But yeah, I mean, like just comparing it to the COVID crash, there was like a 40% drop in like 5 weeks back then, while the current drop is 22%. And yeah, what I also thought was very interesting when looking at them. So first is this bearish divergence trend line, which I always look at in crypto, so it makes sense to look at it here. It's either here or here, just whichever way you do it, it still broke out. So that's a bullish sign. And the next more important sign is the bullish divergence in the RSI. So I checked this for the SPX, and I think it should be the same in the Dow Jones. But basically, there hasn't been a bullish divergence on the weekly in like 20 years, maybe. Like I'm just quickly scanning. I mean, there's a hidden divergence here, obviously, but I mean, okay, there's one here. So yeah, so basically There was one in 2016 for the Dow Jones, but yeah, basically this is a pretty strong bullish sign. I mean, just TA based, so ignoring the economic conditions. And then what we have one here, so that's not a divergence. So yeah, basically since the actual recession of 2008, we've had 3 bullish divergences on the weekly, and the first 2 led to really strong upward trends, and it remains to be seen if the third will do the same. But another thing that I noticed at the RSI is that, so besides the COVID crash, which kind of looks like an anomaly just looking at the RSI reading of 20, and the actual recession of 2008. So the RSI usually just drops slightly below 50, and then if it reclaims the line, it means that an upward movement has begun. Sorry, and in this case, the weekly RSI has reclaimed the line. And also next, I'll just clean up the chart. There is obviously a breakout from a resistance line here. And what I also like is it actually just moved above the 6.8. I mean, it's a very obviously a very small increase above it. And I think it's more than likely that we get a retracement here, like Konstantin said, in the case of DAX, so maybe the 0.58 or maybe lower if you do this. So this would basically cause a retest of the line, and then maybe it could go upwards, but I don't know. And also when I look at this, so this decrease looks really corrective. It really, to me, wouldn't make sense if it was, I don't know, the beginning of a new movement. I mean, I guess you could see it as a diagonal if you're really squinting hard, but then the ensuing bounce wouldn't really make sense. So I don't know, it's much more likely to me that it's some sort of weird corrective structure, either an ABC with a really expanded flat here, or actually maybe even this would make sense, like a more normal ABC or WXY. But yeah, this actually looks pretty bullish to me, which I didn't think I'd say that like a few months ago, but yeah, honestly, again, if like I think we discussed it prior, but if the FTX follow didn't happen, I think crypto would be faring a lot better right now, just because of how high of a correlation it had with all major indices, and now it doesn't. Let me just place correlation here for a second. Yeah, it's 0 now. I mean, it was actually positive, yeah, until October 31st, and then the next few weeks it was 0. At least it's not negative, but basically this means that the movement of the Dow Jones and that of Bitcoin are not actually correlated. And yeah, okay, so yeah, before I give it to Konstantin, just to reiterate on the trading view offer, yeah, we'll do Matic in a bit. So, like, firstly, thanks for the actual desktop application. I had no idea. I actually just downloaded it. And for the offer, honestly, if you're actual, I mean, if you do use TradingView, I'd really encourage you to like get the subscriptions. I'm just showing my own, just so you know that it's not just some sort of marketing stunt or whatever. But like, yeah, I actually always do this. So I always just get the subscription close to Cyber Monday or Black Friday. So did the same in 2001, 2020. I don't know what I did in 19, but basically I always just get the subscription on November because it's like 60% cheaper, and plus you get an extra month, which adds up. So yeah, if you're already using TradingView, whenever especially you renew it, I'd encourage you to just like do it either on Cyber Monday or Black Friday, just in case. And now Matic, or I never know how to pronounce this, or Matic TA. I really loved Matic before, but I know it's not really behaving well. Honestly, I did a few articles and I'm not sure what Matic is doing. So basically, I'm unclear on the trend, but I'll just lay down my positive and negative readings on it. So positive is that there's an ascending support line, and there was a deviation and the reclaim of the 0.78 level. So that's kind of bullish. But besides that, I don't actually see anything bullish. I mean, if we go to the weekly time frame, we kind of have this rejection from, actually there's not even a clear horizontal level here, but this kind of looks like an ABC, I know, and the weekly RSI did fall below 30. So my thing with Matic is that, yeah, right now my most probable count would be something like this, even though the proportions don't really fit that well. But if you're doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 4 has to be really big, and then 5 is really weird. And then we'd probably have a decrease like this. So in any case, I think we will get another retest of the 0.70 levels, which is close. So if this is bullish, I'd expect something like this to complete the long B and then another fall. But yeah, so yeah, sorry, I don't really have a clear read on Matic right now.
All right. What happened?
Should I put your chart on the screen?
Sorry, I just had the impression that my whole screen froze, but
Okay, no, that was just me. I think, yeah, I left my my chart sharing screen on.
all right, yeah, perfect. So, I think, yeah, now we can see my screen again. So basically, I just want to add something to the Dow Jones index, because what like Dow Jones index looks even more bullish than the DAX, because it actually already broke the golden ratio resistance. It surged around 20%. And then we could also establish this inverted head and shoulders pattern if we face rejection here right now and then correct to the golden ratio. So this is also kind of bullish here. And a weekly histogram of the MACD is ticking bullishly higher, and the MACD lines are bullish across. So yeah, the Dow Jones index looks really bullish. And the last one that we didn't cover yet is the SP 500, which is in a very similar spot right now. And big difference here is that it bounced off the 50-month EMA. And then from there, it basically surged around, I think, also around 20%. Oh no, it's a little bit less. Yeah, 15%, but still, it's at the same price region as it was in August, basically. So the other indices basically recovered better, but what they have in common is that they are at a golden ratio resistance, although the SP 500 is not at the major golden ratio resistance. So basically, Dow Jones Index and DAX look way bullish, way more bullish than SP 500, to be honest. But SP 500 still looks way better than Bitcoin. And we also have this upticking monthly histogram of the MACD. For the MACD, I'm expecting a break of that region here, so we can move to the next golden ratio resistance. So basically, what we could see is a move towards this golden ratio here, and then we could also retrace down to the next FIB support. So once we break that level, maybe we get a correction towards the 0.382 FIB ratio. So maybe we go here and then there, and then move back to the all-time high. But generally speaking, SP 500 could still get rejected here. So let me just remove everything, and then it could come back to the 50-month EMA support. And also what you can see is that we bounced off here multiple times during the last decade, basically. So we bounced off here, then we had this COVID crash, and now we're bouncing off again. So this doesn't look like a global recession at all. This looks like a quick retracement and going back to all-time highs. But yeah, it's too early to say that completely, because we still have the potential of going back to new lows, because we are in a tough spot right now with facing the golden ratio resistance, where we could definitely face rejection. So keep that in mind. And then yeah, we don't have any more comments, so we covered all of the indices. I think, to summarize, Dow Jones index is the most bullish one. DAX could face a short-term correction, and SP 500, yeah, is the least bullish of those, but still way bullisher, or way more bullish than Bitcoin. And since we we still have like 8 minutes left, we can talk a little bit about Bitcoin or the euro or dollar index. If you want to cover that, yeah, you could move to the dollar index, because, to be honest, I don't have much to say about Bitcoin. I'm not even willing to trade Bitcoin at the moment, because I don't know what that is. It's, for me, like, it's a no trading zone, because I don't know. Here at this point, everything could happen. And I think most people are not quite sure about Bitcoin right now. There's some on-chain data that's really bearish, like some wallets that never moved Bitcoin for like a decade almost started to sell Bitcoin. So this could be a paradigm shift. Maybe the whole narrative changes, but I don't know. So as long as we don't break the last law, I see some support here. Maybe we just keep going sideways here. So yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to the dollar index.
Yeah, thanks for that, Konstantin. Also, a great summary. I definitely agree with Dow Jones looking the most bullish right now. Okay, so yeah, I'll just do a quick summary of DXY then. Okay, so basically the dollar index, I mean, it's obviously the strength of the dollar against various pairs. And it sort of has a negative correlation with Bitcoin. I'll just recheck to be sure. But yeah, basically that means, so whenever the DXY increases, then Bitcoin falls, and vice versa. So the correlation isn't that, I mean, it's negative most of the time, but it's not actually as strong as I thought. But there's some interesting things which I'm looking at. And the first one is this bearish divergence in the monthly RSI. So I think it's the first time in history, maybe, I guess. I mean, yeah, there's some small divergences here, but like this one, the pretty big one, we haven't really had such a bearish divergence before. And that's the first bearish sign. And the second to me is that this really looks like it's in wave 5 of a 5-wave movement. And I was even checking the ratios. So basically, one and 3 have a 1.61 ratio exactly. And then 1 and 5, I think they will have a 1.61 ratio. And this would take DXY up to the resistance right here. So basically a ton of confluence for the top there. And also, if I'm looking at this from a slightly shorter term perspective, so this up move here kind of looks like the 1-2. And now we should be in 4. And yeah, so basically I'm kind of seeing it like this. So this 5 will be the last one. that will take it. I'll just reduce the style a little. So yeah, basically something like this. I mean, daily is starting to pick up after previously breaking down. So if we go back to the weekly, that would look like this. So I'll remove the divergence. Yeah, so I know, to me it seems that the dollar index has one more upward movement left, and then it will gradually correct. So that would bode really well for crypto, I guess. Not the upward movement, obviously, but the ensuing correction afterward. So yeah, let's see if we do get that. Okay, I'm not sure if you have. I mean, we don't really have any more questions.
I could cover the euro versus dollar chart if you would like
Sure.
to.
Yeah, of course, that would be great.
Because it's interesting, the bearish divergence in the dollar index is looking really bearish. So I don't know what will happen here, because euro also looks bearish against dollar, because we have this bearish divergence in the daily RSI, and then we are facing the 200 day EMA resistance. So I don't know. Does this indicate the dollar will fall harder, correct harder than euro, because both look bearish? This is strange, but we will see what will happen. But yeah, euro versus dollar looks absolutely bearish in the short term. I mean, we recovered 10%, which is great. We had a very good upward movement here, but for now, I mean, MACD looks bearish divergence in the RSI, facing major resistance. I think we could definitely see a correction wave here towards the FIB supports. And I think this is a good support target, because we also have the 50-day EMA support here. So yeah, this is probably what will happen. And we also had a signal in the Telegram group covering the upward movement here. But as you can see, 2.2 probably needs a lot of leverage to really make that trade, because 2.2 is not really significant to me, to be honest. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I could still cover like the monthly chart of it, but I don't see much here, because yeah, we had a great month for the euro, but yeah, in the short term it definitely looks bearish. So we have some people saying like, Tim, I don't know what to ask, just listening. Well, if you have no questions, that's all right, but in general we really appreciate to engage with you guys. We love to follow up on your questions, and often you have really great ideas what to cover and what to talk about, so that's why we really appreciate it. But yeah, in case you missed it, TradingView has like a huge sale right now, and it's crazy because TradingView is kind of a monopoly. I've never came across any other software for charts that is that great. And yeah, I'm super happy with TradingView. I want to show you one more feature TradingView has to offer, which amazes me. This is this feature here. I don't know, this link sign, and basically once you move from the one chart, you also move in the other chart, time frame wise. So let's move to the daily chart, and you will see what I mean, because I'm also paying attention to the what's the name of it, Renko candles, and the Renko candles don't close exactly like the daily candles, or the normal candles, I mean. So what you can see here is, if I move here, you see it moves directly to the next one, because one Renko candle takes like 10 days, for example. It's like different every time, but then I can see exactly what the price was at that region. So this feature, I really love it. And yeah, TradingView keeps improving. And yeah, we're both not affiliated with TradingView. I think we both share that simply out of passion, because I love great software, and in that case, TradingView is really great. Yeah. So yeah. So guys, if you have any questions, you have like 30 seconds, and then the stream is like finished.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing there. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for being a part of the broadcast. And we will see you on next Monday. And obviously, we will tell you the topic beforehand, and we will promote that in the Telegram community. So good night, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.